Hey folks, Jeff here with Back to Country. Thanks for stopping by the channel today. If you're new here, my wife and I are doing our darndest to build a homestead so that we can get out of the city and get back to country. So if you watched our last video, you saw that this site is not all about rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes stuff's a little tough. Things don't go our way. But there ain't no quit here. We keep on going and we get her done. So we'll get to the mini excavator here in a minute and show you our progress on that. In the meantime, we'll walk here just a little bit and show you where we're at on our dirt work. As you can see, the dirt that we had piled up the other day, we spread it out. And we've made some progress. We're still not where we want to be. We still need more dirt. It's kind of hard to see, but there's just a little bit of a bowl in here that needs to be filled in and built up. Some of these shadows maybe show it a little bit, so we'll build all this up a little bit and flatten her out. And then the road is still a little bit too steep. One of my neighbors is a truck driver. He came by yesterday, and in his opinion, a trailer would bottom out here trying to make this climb. Just a transition, so that tells us we're on track and thinking right, that we need to expand this out so that we decrease the slope. So that's another thing we've got to do. Of course, we've still got to widen this out more. We've repaired a lot of the side that was breaking away and everything from the erosion, put more dirt in there and built it out some more. Of course, we've widened the whole road and joined the other side, but we need to get more dirt in here and keep building this out so that we can widen this ramp. You can see here it's I'd say about 12 feet, but we'd like it more than that. So you can see there where we've kind of started to just dump a little bit of dirt down here at the bottom and kind of widen out. So we'll widen this side out about that wide, and then eventually we're going to work on filling this side in as well. We've got basically a big ditch over here, so in the long run that'll pretty much get filled in and this road will be widened out quite a bit. That way you should never have to really drive along the edges. The edges right now are, you know, a lot softer. We haven't compacted those at all yet, so they're pretty soft. But of course, over time with the rain and everything, there's natural compaction that occurs, and the more that we drive on it and everything, there's compaction there as well. So if you walk in the middle of this road, I mean, it's solid. So we'll keep making progress. The bottom line is, to do that, we've got to have dirt. That's the key thing, and we've already taken a lot of dirt off the top of the hill. At this point though, it's the only place that we've got ready access to dirt, so I think we're just going to keep taking dirt from there. And then later on, when we build the house, which, you know, that could actually be a few years away, because we don't even have the house designed yet. And since we're, you know, do-it-yourselfers, we've got to design it and everything. So a lot of work to be done there, and not a priority at this time. First plan is building the shop and the living quarters and getting out here full time. So we'll keep taking dirt off the top. In the long run, like I say, when we get to where we're going to build the house, then we can build the house like we're going to put a basement, for example. So we can put the basement 2 feet above grade and then fill in around with topsoil. So right now it's all clay, which basically means nothing will grow. Although there's a lot of clay in here, and looks like their weeds haven't had a problem growing. But we put a little bit of topsoil on top of this as well, so you can see here, for example, you know, that's a lot of like sandy dirt. So that's this sandy loam soil they call here in East Texas. So, you know, we're good. We've got a plan. I just need to take advantage of what I've got now and keep moving forward. So to do that, I'll keep taking dirt off the top, but of course, before I can move dirt up there again, I've got to fix the beast. In order to fix the beast, I've got to fix this excavator, because the drive motor for the chain on the pay scraper is got a bad seal on it. I need to pull that out and re-seal it and everything, rebuild it, whatever. And it looks pretty heavy, so I want to use this thing, put a chain on it, and you know, that way when I unscrew it, it doesn't just fall down and crash, because I'm guessing it's 100 pounds or so. So better to be safe and put something on it so that I can lift it out with a machine rather than trying to do it myself. I don't think any good would come from that. So we got to get this machine fixed. So bam, you can tell we got the cylinder apart so that we can repack it. This sucker was heavy, and once I got it apart, I can see why, man. This piston is huge. Usually this section right here, I've never seen on one of these before. I'm guessing that's just to strengthen it. But wow, that really makes it heavy. So how did we get this thing apart? Well, it was a process. So first thing I did, I took the cylinder off, and then I flipped it around so that it was pointing towards me here, and I had better access maneuverability. I just put a small pin in to hold it there, so that basically works like my vise at the back to hold it. And then I propped it up using a pipe and a I don't know what you call those, big tool breaker bar, chisel, whatever. Anyway, a solid bar. Lifted it up, propped it on there. That gave me good access to it. Then we had to unscrew this cap. That was the whole issue, and you can see there's these little holes in it, and the tool that we had to do that, the little spanner wrench, was just not giving us enough leverage to break that thing free. So I had to find another way. So what I did, I took some small little bolts that I had. They're like 8.8 millimeter. I think maybe a 1/4 inch long. They're just small bolts, and I put those in these holes, and they fit perfectly. And what that did is it left the nut just above the edge here, so that I was then able to take this giant pipe wrench back here, 48-inch pipe wrench, and put that on there, and I could grab the bolts, because this collar, you know, is even with the cylinder. So if I just tried to grab it, I would grab the cylinder too, because that's only 3/8 inch thick, and that pipe wrench is about 1 inch wide. So it would have grabbed this, and that wouldn't work. So by putting those bolts in there, what that did was it gave me a rise and something to grab onto with the pipe wrench. Then we heated it up, and it broke free easy. I mean, simple. I could not believe how easy it broke free. So it was just about getting a good grip on it and the proper leverage to break that thing free. Of course, then the next thing was, there's a big nut. You can see that big nut laying down there that goes on the end of this. And those things are torqued pretty good, so I had to break that thing free, and so I had to heat that thing as well to get it to break free. Using again that big pipe wrench, got it broke free, and so Now we're ready to redo this thing. We've already pulled our packing off of here, and once we pull this piece off, there could be some O-rings or something inside there. But other than that, there shouldn't really be anything on there. Pull that thing off and then remove the cap. And in the cap there's going to be at least 2 seals, typically a seal and a sweep. And there's an O-ring around the outside. And I'm not sure, I think that's about it on that thing. We'll get all those new parts put on it, and that'll get that thing redone, and then we can put her back together. Once we get it back together, of course, then we'll have to flip it back around and hook all the hoses back up and everything, refill the hydraulic fluid, and start her up and see if we got any leaks in any of our work we've been doing. Hopefully at that point we'll be 100% and not have any issues. Let's see if this okay, so this thing here then is solid on there. It must be threaded on or something, because it's got 2 little lips here, but I'll have to look at it. Oh no, I've got to take it off because I can't get the collar off without it. So yeah, this has 1 O-ring on the inside, and that's it. An O-ring on the inside, and then of course your packing that goes on the outside, so that's pretty easy. The question is, how does this sucker come off? Always something. So the question's gonna be, are there threads or something on this? You know, I have no idea. So this is the first time I've seen anything like this in any of the cylinders I've redone. Like I say, I'm guessing it's to strengthen it, just to give more support to this rod, ram, whatever it's called. But it has to come off because we can't get this cap off without removing this, so we're gonna have to figure it out. Not really sure. Oh, well, I guess it just slides off. But there we have it. Smooth bore, no threads, 1 O-ring on the inside, and that's all there is to that. So that's good news. Sometimes when you think something's going to be difficult, it's simple, and when you think something's going to be simple, it turns out to be difficult. So overall, this thing appears to be in good shape. Everything's smooth. I don't see any scoring or anything. That's just how you want it. You don't want any damage or anything, because, you know, 1 bad scratch score on this can ruin your seals, and you don't want that, because then it just starts leaking. And we got the cap off. So looking inside this cap, I see we've got a sweep in there that's really deteriorated. That's part of the problem why it's leaking. Let me see if I can get this thing out and show it to you. Oh yeah, it's in bad shape. even just trying to pull it out, it's just looks like it's starting to fall apart. So this is a seal. Yeah, there we go. So this should be one piece seal here. That's in really bad shape. I mean, you can see the busted pieces away from it. It's just really cracked, deteriorated all along. Sorry, I'm not getting that in the camera good, but all through here, cracked, deteriorated. It's very brittle. It just breaks real simple. So that's probably the #1 reason that this thing was leaking. And looks like there's a spacer that was below that. Okay, we got that out. So this is just a plastic spacer, and it's got some wear on it, so also part of the problem. And then the other side here is an actual seal with a steel casing, so we're going to need to take that out properly. It's not just going to pull out simple, but it's in really bad shape. So all the seals on that cap were definitely the problem. In all honesty, everything else, the internal sweeps and everything, the packing didn't look bad. But when we rebuild one of these, we don't just take the parts off that are bad and replace that. We replace everything. And of course, from heating it, you know, some of this stuff melted, but these things were not in bad shape till we heated them and melted them. But it don't matter, we replace it all. We typically either go to the store that sells all this stuff in Longview, Texas. You got Crown Supply, and I know they're located in other places like Oklahoma and stuff. We go there and they've always got all the parts we need, so we basically take all the pieces and everything and they put together a kit. But this time I had to order that hose out of China, so in order to make it more feasible, I went ahead and ordered the seal kit too, because the kits and the hose were dirt cheap, but it was like $60 for shipping. Was it DHL? Shipping was like 60 bucks. So altogether, I think it was 105 bucks, something like that. And typically, for a cylinder this size, it probably costs us 100 bucks for the packing and everything for this cylinder. So at 105 for the cylinder and the hose, that was fair, comparably speaking. And you know, we couldn't find that hose anywhere. I mean, I sent messages to several Hyundai dealers, and man, they didn't even respond. So, you know, that told me they probably didn't have it, or they got so much business they didn't need mine. Regardless, the folks in Hong Kong or whatever at least replied. There was another company out of South Korea. Their prices were actually a little better, but beyond sending the quote, when I tried to make the purchase, they never replied. So I didn't have any way to actually get them the money and make the purchase. The one in Hong Kong used PayPal, so that was easy to make the actual purchase, and they were very, very responsive. The gal there spoke good English and very helpful, responsive. So Usually I would prefer to do business in the US, but you know, I couldn't get anybody to even respond to me, so I took my business elsewhere and gave it to the folks that at least were responsive. So anyway, at the end of the day, we got the parts, and there's not much to repacking this. If you need to know how to repack a cylinder, I do have another video out there that we repacked a cylinder for our motor grader, and that was an in-depth video that gave a lot of detail. So if these things are all the same, the collars on them, different brands can come off a little bit differently, but other than the process of taking them apart, which is always remove that collar, it's just a question of left-handed threads, right-handed threads, what kind of spanner wrench does it use, does it have a keeper, you know, just some of them bolt on. There's different attachment processes for different cylinder caps or collars, whatever you want to call them. Other than that, as far as the packing and everything inside, they're all basically the same, all hydraulic cylinders. So it's just a matter of taking the parts off that are on there and replacing them with the same parts, put it back together, and mainly get everything clean and put her back together, and you should be good to go. It's really quite simple. We've already gone through the most difficult part, which is just getting it apart. Putting it back together is the easy part. So there you have it. We may have failed initially, but we didn't quit. We got her done. That's where we're at now. So we're gonna get this thing back together. We're gonna get hydraulic fluid back in this machine, start it up, test it out, make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere, and then we're going to work on getting this thing back together. We got all these access panels, skid plates, whatever you want to call them, that got to go back on, and then this machine will be operational again, and then we'll drive it up to the beast, as I call it, the pay scraper, and we'll work on removing that chain motor, tearing it apart. Once we tear that thing apart, we'll see what parts we need for it. Then we'll make a run to town, to Crown, get new seals and stuff for it, get it back together, and see if we can't get that beast back up and running so we can move some more dirt. Other than that, that's pretty much where we're at. We've also, you know, had to do other things like maintenance on generators and things like that, just oil changes and whatnot. Our yellow one quit running on us. Well, it didn't quit, but it wasn't running well. So we did have to pull the carburetor off and clean the carb. This fuel, you know, nowadays, all that corn crap, it's horrible. But we cleaned it up, put it back on, and then it still didn't run great, so I pulled the spark plug, discovered, oh wait, that's the original spark plug. So, you know, almost 1,200 hours on that thing, original spark plug, pulled that off, and it ran perfect again, so we're back 100% on that thing. Other than that, it's just oil changes. So, that's what we've been doing. Anyway, as always, appreciate you watching. We really do. You know, it kind of gives us a little extra motivation to know that other folks are following along and enjoying our journey. Really appreciate comments and support. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. That's the only way that you can get YouTube to do anything. You know, they got this algorithm that for them to share your videos or anything, or, you know, they call it recommend your videos to other viewers that like similar content, you got to hit their algorithms, and the only way to hit their algorithms is folks got to like and subscribe. You can also share, but that helps us grow the channel, and like I say, for us. A lot of reasons why we do it. Mainly, you know, it was about prosperity of saving our journey. But along the way, we kind of learned that, you know what, it's great to have support, great to have people that are also interested, and to share those ideas and everything. We get comments, emails that kind of give us other ideas. Sometimes when we get in a little bit of a pickle, folks give great advice that helps you troubleshoot and work through things. So, you know, like I said before, this ain't what we've done our whole lives, you know. I mean, yeah, I grew up country, so I think that built the foundation, but I didn't do any of this for a living. When it comes to this heavy equipment and everything, I mean, we've literally, can't talk, but literally we've learned ourselves. I've taught myself how to use all this equipment just by going through it. Sometimes it's watching videos and stuff, you know, but we learn as we go. Everything is about developing new skills and just continuing to develop ourselves as well as our property, and we're having fun doing it. So it's great to share that with you guys, and you know, to have other people along for the journey. So as always, thanks again. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.